and so forth, so that we could, for instance, put facial location in the camera, which is quite common now in sensors for even very inexpensive point-and-shoot cameras.
Right.
So then think about if you have a large area and you're interested in recognizing or the faces of the people who move through your space. It's your walls, your floor. You don't need constant high-resolution 15-frame-second imagery of your own stuff. What you're interested in is high resolution of the people who move through your space. So if we put facial location in the camera, then we could say, okay, give me very high-resolution imagery of just the faces that move through my space. And that allows you to dramatically reduce the amount of storage that you have to be doing on an ongoing basis. Let's say in a transport type situation, you have a lot of people moving through. You want the faces of those people. You probably don't need high resolution of what kind of shoes they're wearing or what color belt they have, but you're still getting, with our system, you're always getting that 180-degree situational awareness view. You're not, looking through a toilet paper tube at your scene. You always see what's there, and in addition, get the high resolution details that you need later. So we're very excited about this distributive imaging approach that splitting up the imaging task among multiple microsensors and then computationally putting them together in the camera allows us to do a lot of things that are much more difficult if you're dealing with a single than if you're dealing with a single sensor. And especially as your resolution and megapixel count goes up, we can deal with things in chunks, where if you have a single sensor, you have to deal with all of that data at the same time and parse what you're doing and select. So your computational costs would start to be outrageous. As I said, this is our first product in the market. We think that we know that on our product roadmap, we have a number of very exciting devices coming, not just for internal security, but external, low power, extreme low light, and also devices that will work on mobile platforms for the automotive, trucking, and other kinds of industries like that. We've been working on this a number of years. As I said, it turns out not to be simple, but we feel have a good IP position with one issued patent and allowed patent and 8 provisionals filed. So we think we're in a strong position to develop this technology and bring more interesting products to the market. We're having a lot of fun. We're just, looking forward to go to work every day. We're having a lot of fun here.
Well, I know a lot of people have talked about getting their first camera, and it's already starting to be a situation where they're back ordered. So you guys are getting a lot of interest.
We're in allocation now. We're producing and shipping, and we're ramping up the production. But it's early days. But
of course,
we're excited about the future.
Absolutely. So technology, and specifically IP, is changing the devices and what they'll do in the security industry. What do you think are the next big changes in security video?
Again, I think, analytics has offered a lot of promises that haven't been developed yet, that haven't really been presented. I think that there's some exciting things to come on that. I think as we get all this capability, I think people are going to stop and think, what is it I'm really trying to do? Why am I watching? What is it I'm trying to capture? Because I think until recently, you started to get first megapixel cameras, people said, great, I can capture everything.
Yeah.
But then you have to look at it later, and you have to deal with that mountain of information. I think that up to now, analytics, I haven't seen the stuff really, the products out there, but I think they're coming. One advantage we think that our camera is, a lot of analytics up to now have been sort of predictive. If someone leaves one narrower field of view of camera, where will they be? Where will they appear in the other cameras? We have some interest from people who are very interested. When we mount the D7 on a ceiling, you can get a plan view of a store. We have a couple of customers we've shipped cameras to them. They're going to be installing them to use and tracking analytics where they can look at the flow of customers through their space. If they change an end cap, do people stop, pause there? What arrangement in their display causes people to stop and actually pick up a product and look at it in a large door? And they say that they think it's going to be much easier with our 180 view because you're giving the analytics a contiguous wide-angle scene without distortion, so that the analytics can do a better job of looking at customer behavior. But I think there's some real threats out there in the security field in terms of terrorism, and there's some real opportunities in marketing to better understand how your customers experience your space in your store. And I think that there's needs to be, people are going to sit back and sort of think, okay, what is it that I need to, what is it I really am trying to do with a security camera? What is, with all this information I'm gathering, what is it that I really need to know, and trying to be a little bit more efficient about deploying their assets to get that information. So IP makes that possible because you're allowing access to more computational power to the imagery you're gathering.
Peter, do you see wireless impacting the security devices and security in general?
I think that wireless is coming because it really liberates you from the need to build out a wired network, which especially in established location can be very, very expensive. I mean, the cost of the network wiring can dwarf the cost of your cameras. And also if you have a fluid situation, let's say you have some kind of incident where there's a crash or a public, a train crash, a plane crash, an event in a city, you want to set up a network quickly. You're not going to wire it, but wireless gives you that opportunity. Also, there are opportunities in a wide area, airports, large shopping centers. How do you gather visual data from a wide range without having to string wires? There are the obvious problems of bandwidth and trying to stuff all of the data from high megapixel cameras into a wireless network can be a challenge. And also, if you're in an area if you're using Wi-Fi with lots of Wi-Fi users, there are not that many ports available. So I think there's some technical challenges. We're not a wireless company, so in terms of speaking about how those will be solved in the future, that's not our area of expertise. But we are talking to a number of wireless providers because we think, especially for our external cameras, but also for internal too, wireless offers a lot of opportunities to place a camera somewhere where you only have to get power to it and get imagery back from it and plug that into your management system. So we're actively pursuing discussions with a number of wireless providers, both who work on the Wi-Fi and also non-line of sight wavelengths, so that we can come up with solutions that our camera can work with. Because we have a PoE solution that works well with a wired network, but also with a wireless solution, if you just put 12 volts to the camera, and you can have a wireless network run off of that gives you a lot more flexibility in where you're going to place your image gathering devices.
That's right.
So I think that's coming.